Woo!
Hello, everyone. It is a fantastic Thursday, and we have so much to get to. We're excited to be here with you. You are watching The Jam, and everybody is watching the Bulls to see what's coming next.
Yeah, fantastic Thursday for Bulls fans out there. The Chicago Bulls, right at the NBA trade deadline as the clock was ticking, pulled an all-star guard, Nikola Vucevic, from the Orlando Magic. This is big because the Bulls, for the past few years, haven't done anything when it comes to free agency, when it comes to trading. This is a sign that the Bulls, who are right there in playoff contention, they're trying to compete. They're looking to do something. So if you're a Bulls fan out there, this is a reason to be happy. They also got Nikola Vucevic. I'm sorry, they got Al-Farouq Aminu and Daniel Theis as well. So good pieces. It's rare seeing the Bulls do some trades.
I need you to break this down for me, Brandon. All right, so let's say this is Tim Floyd Bulls. Let's say this is Michael Jordan Bulls. Tell me where to stop on this scale for where this trade makes the Bulls now.
Okay, why don't you stop like right there? Right there.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
It's good because we're finally looking like an attractive product. Like Chicago should be a place LeBron wants to come to, right? But free agents, they're like, I'm good. Why? Management and the team's been bad.
Yeah.
Now, okay, we're putting the product out there. So maybe some free agents say, yeah, Chicago, Windy City, let's run it up.
Yeah, well, we've been in building years for what feels like, we've been in team building years for what feels like 2 decades.
Yes.
I'll say a decade, okay, 10 years.
When's the last time? Go ahead.
Right. This could be our moment. And John, I'm a visual person, so I really appreciate your scale here. It works for me.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I mean, when's the last time Chicago had 2 All-Stars, guys? 2 All-Star talents. That's a big deal. It's awesome.
I do not know. All right. Let's talk about President Joe Biden. He had his first press conference, his solo press conference today from the White House. Took about 25 questions or so, over an hour. He kind of brushed past gun control legislation, instead pivoting that he wants to focus on infrastructure next. Pulling troops from Afghanistan. He says that probably likely within the next year, but not under the imposed deadline of the former president, which was May 1st. He did say he's going ahead to run re-election in 2024 and that he expects Kamala Harris to be his vice presidential nominee. And he talked about voting rights, and this is big. He called efforts by Republican state legislatures to make it harder for Americans to vote un-American, just hours before both the houses of the Georgia legislature passed through their real stingent voting new rules. The governor signing that expected tonight. But it's this comment that went viral online.
I'm convinced that we'll be able to stop this because it is the most pernicious thing. This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
Okay, so that one's going and making the rounds. A lot of people posting clips of President Biden talking slow or stuttering and saying that. But a lot of people saying it was relaxed, he was respectful, a little different tone than maybe some of the other press conferences we've seen over the last 4 years or so.
Yeah, I mean, politics coverage, all perspective, you can pull good and bad out of that speech. I do think the run for re-election thing was interesting just because he was saying throughout his candidacy that he would be the president. He saw himself more as a transitional candidate for the Democratic Party and trying to set them up in a better position to have I want to say longer leadership or more leadership for more years and more elections. So I thought that was interesting, but maybe that's just an answer he pulled out of his hat. That Jim Eagle comment, calling out some of the institutionalized issues in this country, pretty much everything that we complained about in 2020, all that social unrest and injustice, calling that out for face value and for what it is. And to have acknowledgement like that from the top office of the United States, it matters and it's appreciated, and the first step in terms of hopefully trying to create some sort of change.
Yeah, that Jim Crow, Jim Eagle line is going to get memed a lot. I mean, that was some interesting wordplay there. But the sentiment was very much true. I mean, voting rights are very much under attack. And if anything, they've really sharpened up and increased since the 2020 election, where you had these 2 senators out of Atlanta winning big in Georgia. That just made Republicans double down and say, okay, let's restrict who can vote, if they can even be in line, how long they can be in line, where they can even go to vote. So he's right to want to put this focus on voting rights. It does feel a little out of touch right now to brush past the gun control legislation when really Colorado and Atlanta, the shootings there are really still fresh in our minds.
Yeah, I hear that, and I understand people didn't necessarily like that he went to infrastructure, but presidents that come in with plans for how they want to roll out their big pieces of legislation, which take months and months and months to get through, the ones that come with those plans and stick to them are usually the most successful. That's what happens with past presidents. Yes, of course, gun control legislation is first and foremost, but if we're chasing the issue of the day, man, the way news moves now, we're going to be chasing this thing, then that thing. Then tomorrow it's going to be about, systemic racism, which of course should be the top of the list. Everything should be at the top of the list, but it all legitimately can't be. So he's chosen infrastructure, and I find it interesting that no one had any questions about it. He's the one that had to bring it up.
And and maybe there's a strategy behind that. Yeah, to your point, John, maybe there's a strategy behind that. And, this is gun control. It's something that is extremely divisive. Maybe he has a plan to pop that up somewhere a little farther down the line with his presidency. Yeah.
I just feel like every politician puts infrastructure right away at the top of their list, and we really don't. It's not a sexy topic, right? And we rarely see any big gains from it. What people want to see change in right now are those two big issues: gun rights and voting. And it's kind of, I get what you're saying with the infrastructure. It's important, no doubt, but it feels like a dodge, in my opinion.
If he passes a $3 trillion infrastructure plan, he's going to win re-election. That's all I got to say.
I will say, though, when I was in Missouri, this was my experience in Middle America. No, the people complained about I just want to say that people complained about the roads so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me show you some wintertime Chicago potholes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So for when I was in Michigan.
People, yeah, right? For some people, it's a hot button issue. I don't know why, but it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there are false social media posts going viral claiming anyone can sign up for a COVID vaccine at the United Center. Not only is this untrue, but it's creating a headache for the health department. That's because they have to cancel the ineligible appointments and then clear their system and then schedule for people that are eligible. So big headache there. And at Laredo Hospital, the COO and CFO have resigned after the recent scrutiny of improper distribution of COVID vaccines. While vaccine supply has been stopped, the hospital board and the city are still looking into what exactly happened.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, right. And at the same time, Mayor Lightfoot is actually commending the city's response to vaccination rollout, despite the handful of scandals surrounding distribution. The mayor says health leaders have done a pretty good job. What's you guys' assessment?
I don't know. I was more upset with her reaction to a question at the press conference, asking if someone on her staff had gotten one of the Laredo vaccines, and she lashed out at a reporter using a swear. And it's like, I like a mayor that talks tough, but not to a very legitimate question, wondering if anyone on your administration was part of this growing scandal. You can toss it aside, but don't yell at the reporter for asking a very legitimate question.
Yeah, John, I was going to bring that up too. That ruffled me a little bit, and this has become par for the course for this administration, to attack the media, lash out at the media for doing its job, and that's asking questions like this. Clearly, we're seeing vaccine supply being misused all across the place, so I think it's fair to question. Are we actually, checking all our boxes here when it comes to getting these out to the people that need them most? And she's lashing out right away. Not a good look at all. But yeah, this has been with the Laredo Hospital stuff, the latest story going out to Maple and Ash, the steak place and brunch spot out here, people that work there.
The jewelry shop.
The jewelry shop. Come on, everybody's getting a vaccine in Gold Coast but me. What is going on here? It needs to be fixed.
Gold Coast. For sure.
Yes, indeed. Okay, guys, NASCAR, their best drivers are going to be racing through the streets of Chicago, but they're doing it virtually, okay? They'll make their way through downtown and down Lakeshore Drive past Buckingham Fountain and Grant Park. Quite a tour. It's for the 2021 NASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational Series. Say that 5 times fast. A virtual race for the most high-profile drivers. The series was created when the pandemic shut down racing last year. And here's the route. You can see a map of it right there, provided by the city of Chicago. Yeah. pretty cool partnership by NASCAR. Maybe an opportunity here from NASCAR to gain some new fans. The Chicago market, not necessarily a big NASCAR market, but hey, maybe it could be.
I don't care about those NASCARs when they're on a track, let alone virtually driving through a city.
But one thing, if I know anything about a Chicagoan, is that we absolutely love to see our city. It means so much to us. And then the iconic Lakeshore Drive. That route, I might have to take that route myself.
Now make those NASCAR drivers drive in on the Eisenhower at 7:45 in the morning, weaving through traffic from Harlem to First. Then I'll watch that.
Yeah, we'll never see them then. They'll never get to the destination.
They'll never get there. Exactly.
Oh, man. Okay, Krista.
Leave it to John to bring up the Eisenhower, right? All right, still ahead. An embarrassing and inconvenient mishap is visible from space. And Twitter's unofficial mayor, Chrissy Teigen, is making a surprising announcement. We'll be right back.
Working, taking care of a family, taking care of yourself, it's easy to get depleted, especially in the middle of a pandemic. But that's why we've got Dr. Stacie Stephenson, who is author of Vibrant, a groundbreaking program to get energized, own your health, and your glow. Stacie, thank you so much for being here, Dr. Stacie. Let's talk about what's in this book, because I think we're all trying to revitalize ourselves after the year that we just had.
Well, we are. And I would tell you, I'm trying to revitalize myself as well all the time. And this book was really on my heart for many, many years when I was working with patients in private practice and sharing with them the similar principles, actually the exact principles that you're going to see in this book. And I could only help 8 or 9 or 10 people per day. And I really wanted to help more. So the focus of Vibrant is to give everyone an approachable, forever lifestyle, diet, exercise, and relationship plan that they can implement, that we all can do and begin today.
So often our medical system doesn't focus on preventative care, and they don't focus on holistic healing when all of them
Yes.
play a role. And one of the things you talk about in the book is a self-care prescription. So Doc, what's in the script?
Well, a self-care prescription is really taking a look at the pieces that I just discussed. Looking at your diet with a clean lens, no shame, meeting yourself where you are, looking at what you're really doing with your fitness. What are you really doing with your relationship and your connection? And again, no shame, pick where you are. And in fact, I would suggest you work through the book, and at the end of each chapter, there are 3 wins. If you pick 3 wins at the end of each chapter and implement those approachable, attainable wins immediately, by the end of the book, you will have achieved a true lifestyle forever, vibrant plan. So it's a step at a time. Give yourself that empowerment and really look at what you're doing and be honest about it.
I know you mentioned having like the small little wins. Do you have any other tips for building these habits?
Well, I know we're all interested in our sleep, and we want to sleep better, and we want to have more energy. And sleep is critical to having more energy and having that vitality and glow that we all want. So why don't you work first with cleaning up your sleep environment? Do what I call a digital detox in your bedroom. Get rid of those devices. I'm sorry. Turn off the Netflix. Don't read your phone in bed when you're trying to fall asleep, or your tablets, and get some sleep. And that's going to help your energy. That's going to help your thinking. That's going to help your relationships. That's going to help you look better and be more productive, which is what we all want.
And I love that you said start there, because when I am tired, it makes everything else harder, like working out, like eating healthy. You know, you want to do just the quick things and you want to go sit on the couch. Even though we should be eating like rabbits and getting our fruits and veggies in, we don't want to feel like that. So what are we going to find with these recipes?
Well, you know, there's no way around eating healthfully. This is sort of where I do draw a hard line. Pick the foods that you like. Maybe there are 3 or 4 veggies that you don't like on the list. Don't eat them. Some people love shopping with the Vibrant Shopping list. Some people love to dive into the recipes. And some people like to create your own. But either way, I have to say, you can't give up eating your vegetables.
We won't give up. If you want to get that life-changing total upgrade, check out vibrantdoc.com. B?
All right, news you need to know. Now check out this super clear satellite photo of a massive skyscraper-sized cargo ship. It's blocking the Suez Canal in Egypt. The stranded vessel, Ever Given, is holding up an estimated $400 million an hour in trade. Authorities say it could take weeks before it's completely moved. This is the first time in 150 years that this has ever happened. And the family of a black teen falsely accused of stealing a woman's cell phone in a New York City hotel is suing the hotel and the woman who tackled him for racial profiling. And New York state officials have finalized a deal to legalize recreational marijuana across the entire state. Now, you thought Illinois was a cash cow, but experts predict this could light up $4.2 billion in earning potential. John Hanson.
Light up. I see what you did there. We're going to have some rain showers here. You can see them over in northwest Indiana, southwest parts of the viewing area. They'll roll through tonight. We'll play the Futurecast a little bit later on. 3-day forecast brought to you by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote, call, or click today. Not too bad. Saturday's not a washout, just scattered storms on and off. Real warm into early next week. Krista.
Coming up, the queen of side-eye and Snyder marks, Jessica Walter, is remembered on social media. We'll share some of her most memorable moments after the break. Okay, listen to this. So for the first time since the pandemic started, liquor sales have dropped by a whopping, drumroll please, 2%. 2%.
John, what are you doing? What are you doing, John?
At this time last year, liquor sales were 55% higher than usual. So, I mean, have you guys been drinking as much as you were last year? Then, are you doing that
John
now?
has dropped the ball. You dropped it.
I've been good. I've been good during this whole time. Everybody loves to joke about how much John drinks. No, I just focus it and funnel it into Friday and Saturday night. And yeah, I've cut back a little bit, 2% amount.
See, I'm the one that was drinking pretty much every day during the pandemic. So
No good.
I think, once I realized we might have a summer, it's like, okay, let's get this body together. Let's cut back.
Oh.
So I'm probably responsible for the drop as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
okay.
surprising. I think we're starting to come out of this pandemic a little bit. There's been some movement and people are trying to get their lives organized again. So I get it. Personally, I got to stick with the wine
2%.
just because with the wine, I'm trying to, wake up the next day.
I love how we're like, people are getting their lives back together. It's dropped 2% from when it was up
Well,
55%.
Only 2% are vaccinated.
I went from a bottle a day to a half a bottle a day. That's a
Yeah,
good
there
drop
you go.
right there.
That's good. That's improvement.
Yeah.
That's improvement.
Well, we'll be back.
That's funny.
I gotta warn you guys, this is an end of an era kind of trending. Okay, first up, Chrissy Teigen is signing off Twitter for good. She is saying goodbye, deleted her account. She says that this decision is in support of her mental health, and she followed up with this Instagram post saying she's not leaving because of internet trolls or the bullying. She says she can't deal anymore with letting people down or upsetting them. I mean, hey, at least
Good
we
for
still
her.
got her on Instagram, right? But I'm
Yeah,
gonna miss her. She's
awesome.
the queen of Twitter.
I
I
love
think
her
it's
being
so
honest.
sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's so sad that it's come to this. I love her, like you were saying, John, her honesty and what she brings to her voice, how she uses her voice and her platform and everything. It's just like so icky and negative on social media at times. But I will say kudos to her for choosing her health, her mental health, and her family, putting them first.
Retweet.
Yeah, I wish people just wouldn't make such a big deal out of it, Just go. We don't need a statement.
Oh, Brandon.
Oh, come on. A lot of people love her. She's been really
She
open
had
and honest. She's helped a
13.7.
lot of she's also helped a lot of people through some very serious issues. And all I gotta say is I'm glad for her, but I thought it was nice of her to at least let people know what's going on so that there's not even more wild speculation what's happening. I thought it was classy.
Yeah, and she had 13.7 million followers. That's a
Wow.
lot of people on Twitter. Queen of Twitter.
Yeah.
And another queen we're talking about
Ugh.
next. Rest in peace to the queen, Jessica Walter. This is devastating. She passed away at the age of 80. Gotta love her for her many roles, but especially her character on Arrested Development.
If you're saying I play favorites, you're wrong. I love all my children equally. I don't care for Joe. Get me a vodka rocks.
Mom, it's breakfast.
And a piece of toast.
We can't play
That's
that
two of my
last clip
favorite
that was
scenes.
about to air. Yeah. Oh,
That's
it's
great.
good.
Oh, she's an icon.
Yeah,
and
I
of
use
course,
so
Twitter
many of-
users.
Yeah,
Go ahead, B.
I was gonna say I use so many of her reactions and sayings for like memes and reactions to people via text and Twitter. So she's definitely made an impact for sure with her comedy.
Exactly. I mean, that's what everyone was doing today on Twitter. They were just going through the memories. Here are a couple. I know some of these are your favorites too, Brandon. I don't care
Love
who that is, and I don't care to find out. She's the sass for me. It's the sass.
Yes, she's spicy.
Here you
was
go,
a
hot tea.
huge Arrested Development fan. When this show came out on Fox, it was struggling to get any ratings, and that's why it was canceled like quickly, abruptly in season 3. She's one of the legendary characters, and of course, it caught a second life at Netflix, and they even did seasons 4 and 5. But she was awesome. She also had a long, long career before she became this comedic icon. And I've seen interviews with her when people ask, like, how are you so funny? She's like, I play it seriously. I play it like drama. I don't play it like I know that I'm the butt of the joke. And I thought that it's like a very Leslie Nielsen way of playing things, where he plays it straight up and it makes it so much funnier. She was awesome.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that show Dinosaurs, that puppet show? That was
yes.
Big hit in the 90s. She was the mom in that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Krista, did you watch Arrested Development? Felicia, did you watch Arrested Development? Be honest.
I did not. No,
I
but
did.
You should
some
watch
of those scenes. Yeah, some of those scenes I've seen clips of them, so that lets you know it's just a good show.
You should start it. Yeah.
I got two older brothers. You know, they're people who are like, you got to watch this show. I'll tell you, I didn't get too into it. I'm not a crazy fan, but I definitely am bummed, especially watching those scenes.
For sure.
It's sad.
There you go.
She's a queen.
Love
All
it.
right, we'll be back in a bit,
Rest in
folks.
peace.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. It's The Jam. We've got a lot of good info for you, so let's get to it. Ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay. We got an update coming out of Colorado right now. Everyone's following this story. Ahmad Alaliwi Alissa, the suspect in the Colorado supermarket shooting, made his first court appearance today. Now, his attorney has asked for a mental health evaluation. Alissa is facing 10 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of attempted murder. The Boulder County says he plans to file more charges, the sheriff that is. Alissa is being held without bail.
Meanwhile, the father of Officer Eric Talley, one of the 10 people killed in that shooting, says his son was a strong advocate of the Second Amendment. And he also says his son would be offended to have his death politicized today, and that he had an AR-15 of his own that he often used for shooting practice. This adds some interesting context to the discussion, because right away, when we have these shootings, I don't blame people for jumping right to thinking about our gun laws and gun policy, because we just keep seeing this happen over and over again.
Yeah. I'm not going to dunk on a grieving dad. Like, that's his thoughts. He's probably, he doesn't know what he's thinking right now to lose a son like that. I don't even know what I couldn't even imagine. So yeah, maybe he's getting a lot of people calling him out or saying this is why, and it offends him in a certain way. He just wants to set the record straight about who his son was. This is why I don't think we have, I'm sure there's been many victims of gun violence who support gun laws. The victims don't make the rules. It's up to us to change things afterwards. But, this dad's going through something, and, I don't think it's okay to say he's in the wrong for speaking his mind.
Yeah. Well said, John.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys, it is just 1 week left in Women's History Month, and Janet Jackson is making history once again. She's been doing it for a long time, baby. Oh, Janet. All right, so her 1989 album, Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation 1814, has been added to the National Recording Registry, which is super great. Wow. It's the only album in the history of the Billboard Hot 100 singles to have 7 singles peak in the top 5. That's incredible. 1 album, 7 songs, top 5. I mean, it's a legendary album. It's also the only one to produce #1 hits on the charts 3 separate calendar years in 89, 90, and 91. And the Music Icons album joins 24 other recordings that were recently added to the Library of Congress, which I think is great. I think it's a great honor. I never have understood this. They do this for films too. Is there just like some vault where like some old lady librarian like takes the Janet Jackson album and it's like, you are now in the Library of Congress? And then it's like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. They zoom out and it's just like this vast warehouse. Does anyone visit this? Does anyone go and take the movies out?
No,
What
John, it's all the 21st century. So they got some 22-year-old that's sitting in a bedroom of his mom's basement, and he uploads it all to the cloud.
I got it now.
That's how they do it now. But this is cool. Well deserving of Janet Jackson. All right, our newest series celebrates and highlights the strong women around us. And the strongest woman I know, that's my mother. She's overcome so much with grace and with love, and I'm so happy to be able to share her with you guys.
I came to Chicago to go to grad school and didn't think I would stay. As a matter of fact, I really thought I would go some other places. But I wound up staying in Chicago and eventually got several jobs. And I've been a social worker for, shall I say?
Yes, you can say it.
30 plus years. Got married, of course, and raised 2 children. Probably the best thing I ever could have done.
So, I mean, you always shy away from what you did for a profession, but I feel like it's such a noble profession as a social worker and for Chicago Public Schools. And, you have probably helped thousands and thousands of children. And some of the things that you see in inner city working in education, I think that's what makes you so strong, is that you kept going every day. You kept going because you wanted to help those children, also, have a job and provide for your family. And that's admirable. That should be celebrated.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I give a lot of credit to my faith.
Yeah.
And that's what kept me going. It made it easier rather for me to get through those difficult cases.
Who are the women that inspire you?
My mother, of course, she would be the first one. I just remember that I thought that she was the strongest woman that I ever knew. I think she was really shy when I look back on it now, but I just remember her just pushing through things that I was amazed at.
When I think of your strength and everything, I think of how you carried our family through the passing of my father. My father passed away when I was 11, and my brother was about 13, 14 years
14,
old.
11 and 14.
He passed away of a brain tumor. He was sick for 6 months.
When we first got the diagnosis, I had called a friend who I call my spiritual mentor. I said, I can't do this. I don't think I can do this. She says, yes, you can. She said, I did it for my husband. And she said, the way you do this is the way your children will see you. And that's how they will treat you, because they will see you giving of yourself to your husband, to Frank. So I sucked it up. Tried to get it together.
When we're talking about mothering, what are some the key principles that you wanted to make sure your children had?
One of the things that I think I wanted to do was just to make sure that my children were perfect, healthy, and whole.
Yes.
And I did not want to give a lot of baggage. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. We as adults, we as parents, put our own baggage on our children. I don't know if I was successful in doing that or in not doing that, but there were some things that I made a conscious effort to do.
I'm happy you're my mom.
But thank you.
I'm happy you're my mom. I feel lucky. I feel lucky.
Well, I feel blessed. I feel blessed.
Thank you.
And I tell people all of the time, they say, oh, she's a wonderful young lady. Or they say, she's pretty. I said, but she's pretty on the inside. And I said, we were blessed with a nice canvas, because neither one of you were any real problems. I mean, I had some teenage angst that I had to deal with, but neither one of you were any real problems. Just in
I
terms
think that you did an amazing job, and whoever plucked me out of the sky and placed me here with you. I am grateful.
That's a love affair. Thank you.
I am grateful.
Thank you.
Before we go, I just want to tell you that I am so appreciative and I'm so grateful. I am grateful to be your daughter, and I think that you are a wonderful mother.
Oh, thank you.
Can I have a hug?
Yes, thank you.
Mwah.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
I love you.
Aww.
Yeah, she's a real special lady, you guys. And I think we can all say that we do. We stand on some amazing shoulders, some amazing women that have uplifted us and carried us and strengthened us in times when we needed it. And so I'm happy to be hers.
Your mom is awesome. Okay, so that is your mom. Like, she is the soft, caring soul who will be anyone's spiritual guider that you meet. The number of times we've chatted on, whether it's the Pride bus or the Bud Billiken bus, or she'll just be in studio to visit you, she's always ready not only to greet me with a hug, a hello, the kindest words in the world, but she's got some advice, she's got some thoughts on this or that, and it is literally the sweetest thing in the world. Yeah, she is. She'll text me like, I love your mom. She's a sweetheart. You are lucky to have her, as I'm lucky to have my mother. And oh boy, we're super blessed.
It's a blessing. Blessed. It's so blessed. She loves both of you guys. You know, she talks about you guys all the time.
Yeah, your mom, she is truly outstanding. Like, she was one of the first people to really embrace me when I moved to this city. And she still does to this day. Always great talking with her about books and all kinds of stuff. Like, she's a champ. And to see, you know, those old photos, that was an absolute joy, because you two are like a spitting image. You two are twins for real. It's amazing.
No switched at birth here.
No,
not happening here. She's a real special person. Felicia, so thank you guys.
Yeah. Well, you're gorgeous, but your mother is also gorgeous, and still to this day, she's as pretty as can be, and just a wonderful human. That was sweet.
Thank you.
Yes.
What happens next? Brandon's turn.
All right, guys. Yes. Next, coming up, news you need to know: a Chicago suburb is one step closer to defunding the police. Plus, it's news we've been waiting for: the official name of that Dolly Parton ice cream flavor. We'll find that out when we come back.
pretty heavy rain expected. This is just after the show in about 20 minutes, and let's roll to the evening, 9, 10 o'clock, especially the south suburbs. Some rumbles of thunder possible, just heavy rain, but it'll all be gone by tomorrow. 7-day forecast brought to you by United Auto Insurance. Get your free quote, call or click today. Look at next week. Temperatures approaching 70 after a stormy weekend. Brandon.
All right, from protest chant to policy, voters in Oak Park could help decide to defund the police department on April 6th. It's going to be a simple yes or no referendum question on their ballot. And it got on the ballot after a contentious board meeting in January. Supporters say they want more social services. Detractors say with rising crime rates in the area, it's important to beef up police forces, not take them away. I find it fascinating that Oak Park, of all places, would be kind of the first in the area to kind of adopt this philosophy and look to make this move. It's going to be interesting to see how that vote actually goes, because crime did rise from 2019 to 2020 in Oak Park. And you could have many different reasons for why that could be.
This will be an interesting litmus test for the whole defunding the police movement. I mean, it's obviously not a national thing. It's non-binding. But I think we'll start to see camps here, right? Like, how do people start to really use this slogan? Is defunding the police going to be anywhere on the ballot in terms of the language used? Or are people immediately just going to say, look, this is people taking away your police money? I think the battle around it will be interesting to see how it shakes out. I'd be shocked if they voted yes. We'll see.
Same. I don't see this getting through, and it could be voted against. It may not even come up again afterwards, depending on how they put the language in the ballot. That's what I'm very interested to see, because how they write it onto the ballot could really influence whether people vote yes or no. But I really believe that ultimately the answer lies somewhere in the middle when we're talking about this issue anyway. I mean, the whole idea of that slogan being chanted, I know what's really behind it, but that's what people need to be talking about.
Well, as for now, the slogan is going to stay on the ballot in the question. It's clearly going to be,
right,
do you support defunding the Oak Park Police Department, Oak Park Village Police Department?
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Right.
I know you don't have the answer. I'm posing that. Yeah,
to give a simple yes or no to that is complicated, right? I think that's a difficult task.
And I worry that it could lose by a shocking number to some people. And then that leads people to think, the suburbs aren't ready for this. And this is going to play into the midterms in 2022 and 2024. The suburbs aren't ready for this sort of social movement. But again, when you actually strip away the phrase defunding the police and you poll people on, should social services be more involved in our policing? Should we have caretakers that go with police? Those are overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah.
And this is why I just feel like a lot of progressive on the left have really missed the boat with naming it this or kind of like tie it up with this. But part of that's also done by the right, trying to make it seem like, they're almost using that slogan as a retaliatory way against it. But we'll see. Interesting.
To be fair, sloganeering can be overcome, I think. We kind of talked about this yesterday at reparations. We need to reimagine things, right? We got to be creative. So I think it's up to organizers to be a little bit more creative in how they act.
Come on, Pastor Pope.
I was saying, we got to be creative, be an artist here. You can still have that defund the police slogan, but you got to explain it. You got to get some context. You got to organize around it. And if you're not doing that, it's going to get slapped down pretty heavily. I agree. This is going to be a
probably
for
resounding
Brandon. No. Hurt the movement entirely.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Last week we told you about the Dolly Parton ice cream. She was getting her own Jenny's ice cream flavor, and then we hypothesized on what the best ones were. We made up our own here: Islands in the Cream, Dumb Blondie Batter, PB and Jolene. That was good. I Will Always Dove You. Producer not even putting mine on here. That's a dig at me. I know it, and I appreciate it. We have the official Dolly Parton flavor name. Let's see what creative pun they came up with. We don't know it. Can you drop that, Laura? Yeah, strawberry pretzel pie, specifically made for
pretzel pie.
Pretzel pie. I don't get it. Is that a song?
I don't get it. It's not a song. I don't think so.
I don't know, but you do have to say it with a Southern accent. I do know that much. I have family from Tennessee.
Strawberry pretzel pie.
Pretzel pie.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that an actual
I'll
pie?
try it. I'll try it.
Well, it's got a salty pretzel streusel with cream cheese ice cream. Ooh, that sounds good. And strawberry
Yes.
sauce. The proceeds benefit Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Just wish they used some of that imagination on the name. It's going to be released on April 8th.
Lack of
John.
I shouldn't say
imagination.
anything against Dolly Parton. I'm going to get that'll
Where's
get
your
canceled faster than
imagination
anything.
library? Yeah, where's your imagination library,
Need to
John? That woman
reimagine the
is an American
ice cream flavor.
icon.
Wine to chive. That would have been funny. Krista Green.
Chives
No one
and
wants to
ice
eat
cream.
that.
Good. Y'all are haters.
It's just the name was funny.
Sweet and salty. Sounds good. I'd try it. Okay, if you are single, don't delete Zoom. Don't do it, okay? I'll tell you why coming up in my digital report. We'll be right back.
Oh, I'm nervous.
Okay,
Ooh.
this is always nerve-wracking.
Lisa.
Let's see what
I'm
it is.
nervous.
What is the most popular filming location in the world? I'm going to go with Canada. They film a lot of stuff in Canada.
Ooh.
Krista?
This is interesting.
Toronto, they always have them. Oh, gosh, I'm going to go like Hollywood, LA, movies. I don't know.
Okay, Felicia.
I'm confused. So you want a city or a country? I'll say Atlanta. Everybody's been filming out of Atlanta so often.
I'll go
so much
Toronto
these
then.
days.
I'll go Toronto then to be specific.
Okay.
Brandon?
I'm gonna go with New Zealand, but
Okay.
Oh.
I could be wrong.
Yeah. Okay, let's find out.
What we
It
got?
probably is wrong.
Oh,
Central
God.
Park
Right.
in New York
Really?
City.
Well, Home Alone 2.
Interesting.
Yeah, that bird lady lived there. Yeah, she lived there. That pigeon lady, she had that stuff all over her.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't
Did
deserve
I
it.
don't
Balto-
get Times
did
Square
Balto take place?
over Central Park if we're talking New York.
Yeah, 500 movies apparently, according to our what I came up with off the top of my
Interesting.
head, not our producers at all.
To your point, Brandon, a lot of those Lord of the Rings films and a couple other
A lot of
trilogies, I think,
action
took place.
films.
Hobbit,
Yeah, that's like
take place
6
in
Star
in New
Wars.
Zealand. Yeah,
Well,
that was
they were a
Indiana
big deal.
Jones. A lot of
That was
legendary
good.
films have been in New Zealand.
I did
Yeah.
guess
Like Great
Toronto,
Hill.
so who am I to judge?
To be fair, no, I thought Toronto was a good guess. They use Toronto a lot of the time for
Yeah.
Chicago. Did you guys know that?
They do.
They do.
No.
They do,
I didn't
especially
know
for
that.
those CW
And then
shows.
they just throw a
Lot of those
random
CW
L
shows.
shot in. And they
Another
think
fact
that's
I'm
I don't know.
remembering is another fact I'm remembering is the number 2 most filmed place in the country is Bronson Canyon, Los Angeles. So there's another fast
Wow.
fact.
Is number
fact for
3
you.
Cleveland? Is number 3 Cleveland? I hope
Let's
it's
hold
Why
on
do you
and
have to
wait for
bring
a second. I
Cleveland
have to
into
rack
this?
my
Come on,
brain.
John, think
on
of
the
that
Google.
fact.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's
Get
coming
that
to
I'll
me.
have
It's
it for you.
coming to me.
I'll have it for you after the break. I'll have it for you after the break.
It's still California.
Where's Toronto? This is the Royal Sinister Chicago Riverfront Camp, by the way. Gordon.
Where's the love for Ohio?
Ring.
It was just such a great day. All right, let's get digital. And okay, we're talking dating here. And this last year has not been easy on our single peeps. Prayers up for all of you. But fear not, we're getting back to normalcy, but some say that they're getting this thing called FODA, which is the fear of dating again. So fear not, Tinder has come out with some trends, and they think that this is how dating's going to go for the next decade. Yeah, so they're being super bold with this, but take a look. Digital dates are here to stay. People think it's way lower pressure to get a sense for someone, to see if you really like them.
And before I dress up and go out the house, why not just do it on video real quick? Because it could be a zero connection, let's do it here before I leave out my house.
Knowing your internet, it will be a zero connection. So
okay, John.
Boom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. Roasted.
Yeah.
That was good.
I'm a fan of that. Get it out of the way early if you don't like them. The short commute relationships.
Yeah,
there won't be a post-pandemic surge in long-distance relationships. They think people want to date close by. Also, transparent. Yeah.
Short commute is key.
Also, transparent boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Brandon, speak up. You're a single man.
Well, I've done these long distance through Chicago datings and relationships, and it's a problem, especially when neither person has a car. You're doing Ubers back and forth and public transportation.
Oh no!
Be in my neighborhood at this point. Be in my neighborhood, or else it's a wash.
You're gone.
Yeah, Brandon's roster used to be all over the map.
Yeah,
they were.
I can attest to that. I've known
West
this a little
Side,
bit of this roster.
Chatham, South Loop. Felicia probably does know a few of the roster. Yeah. Iowa, I went to Iowa a few times.
Now he's gonna stick to the Gold Coast. Good luck there, B.
There was a woman in Tampa.
Hey, come on. we gotta keep the faith for our Brandon. Okay, so the next one, they think that transparent boundaries and focus on consent is here to stick around for the next 10 years. I like this.
I hope longer than that. Yeah, I hope.
Right.
I hope consent is around for a little longer than a decade. So.
For the record, consent is not a trend. Consent has always been in.
Preach.
Well, since the pandemic's over. Oh, boy.
And this last one kind of goes along with the digital dates. They're going to say that active dates are going to be more prevalent than coffee dates. You're kind of getting rid of the getting to know you with your virtual dates, so you get straight to something fun and creative.
No, the coffee first, then second you do something active. Because if you're doing something active, that if you're gonna be out of breath, you're not really talking. That coffee date, first date, is the best thing to do.
Plus, if it's active,
virtual now.
It's frugal, but no woman wants to be out camping on the first date or out with at some quarry or climbing rocks. That's what some dudes try to do.
Some query? What
activity?
Quarry? Quarry, am I saying?
Quarry, yeah.
This shows I'm not an outdoorsy guy.
We're the people that don't do that. Yeah.
And look at this, guys. This is what Tinder members are, they're using these in their bios to make their expectations clear. Brandon, I don't know if any of these would be up your alley, but maybe, like you were just saying, queries and camping and all that would be in your bio.
Suez Canal.
None of those are in my bio. I guess I'll put Susan.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You like animals.
We should make a profile.